Hi guys, and welcome to another video. In this episode or video I'll be going through my Nintendo 64 collection. It's a very small collection, but I'm hoping you'll like the games that I've got as much as I liked playing with them back in the day, back in the mid to late 1990s and early 2000s. Okay, let's start off with the first game then, and the first game is Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Star Wars game, of course, came out in 1998. It took place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and it features 16 different missions in all across various planets such as Tatooine, Hoth, Bakesh, Corellia, and there was other missions in space as well. The game spawned two sequels, which was Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, and Rogue Squadron 3, Rebel Strike, and I think they both came out on the GameCube. I don't actually own a GameCube, so I've never actually played those games. It was an arcade-style shooter and features mission objectives before progressing to the next stage. It was alright, quite a good game. Pick it up, put it down, you know, Star Wars, cool. Okay, next game is Diddy Kong Racing. Great little game, this one, featuring Diddy Kong. It was released in 1997 and it sold 4.5 million copies. It's a unique kart game in the same sort of vein as Mario Kart, but there was other types of vehicles. There was like a sort of a helicopter and kind of hovercraft as well, which you could race in. And it features a kind of a story mode as well as the normal sort of racing along. And it's actually the 6th best selling game on the N64. Next game in the collection is Nagano Winter Olympics 1998, and this game I'm actually in the middle of having a game there, and I'm actually on the ice skating, or the speed skating you could say. There's two modes in this game. You can play Olympic mode or Championship mode. 10 events, including skating, of course, luge, bobsleigh, slalom, curling, which was one of my favourite events, I think, curling, half pipe, and snowboarding. So this is a multi-sport title in the same sort of vein as track and field, as you remember in the arcade from back in the early 80s. But it's not quite such a button masher or a joystick waggler. It's a little bit more cerebral than that. So that's Nagano Winter Olympics 98. Next game in the collection is, I have to say, is FIFA 98. Now this is the 5th game in the FIFA series, and it features David Beckham on the front cover. In Spain you had Raúl, and in France you had David Ginola. Course. There's 16 stadiums in all and 189 club teams to choose between, and it also featured a 5-a-side indoor mode too, which was good fun. Commentary on this game was from John Motson and Andy Gray, and Des Lineman, remember him from the old Match of the Day and Grandstand Day? Well, he did the introductions. Okay, next game in the collection is International Superstar Soccer 1998. This features the Italian player Fabrizio Ravanelli on the cover and Paul Ince. It didn't feature the official license or any kind of licensing really like they did in FIFA, of course, so you had the likes of Man Red, Man Blue or Birmingham Blue, all these type of funny kinds of names. You could always edit them in the in-game editing menus and etc., or the in-game editor. Commentary on this game was from Tony Gubber, and what I did like about this game, not just the actual playability of the matches, but there was challenges to be had as well, or scenarios rather, where you'd have, say, a game with about 5 minutes to play, and you were 2-1 down or 1-1, and you'd have to score the winner. So that was a nice little addition to a football game. Okay, next game in the collection is a game that's synonymous with the Nintendo 64, which is GoldenEye. This particular version is the player's choice version of the game. And in this game, of course, it's a first shooter game. Play the role of James Bond, naturally, and there's an array of gadgets and guns, etc. It was the... Could you say it was the first shooter? No, not really, because you had Doom and Quake, etc. But the multiplayer, of course, on here was superb. You could play in a 4-player split screen, which at the time was really unheard of, so it was great. So the playing time on this particular game was increased. It had great audio, great music, and the sound effect, especially when bullets would ricochet off, say, tiles or off, I don't know, off some wood, something like that. Superb game. One of the best on the Nintendo 64. It actually sold 8 million copies worldwide as well. Okay, next game in the collection is NFL Quarterback Club 98. And this was the only official NFL game on the N64. It had 30 pro teams and then 4 hidden teams as well. And for the time it actually had pretty good graphics for the time. An Extreme magazine, as it says on the cover here, it says the best American football game ever. We are talking about 1998 here. 94% X Factor Award of Excellent. 64 Extreme magazine. And also from Nintendo magazine it says buy it and enjoy, 90%. One of my favourite NFL games was John Madden on the Mega Drive. I can't remember, it was 93, 94, 95, and that was superb. I played this and I thought, yeah, this is great as well. The later incarnations of Madden these days, so much, graphics-wise, so much superior than NFL Quarterback Club or Madden back in the day on the Mega Drive, of course. But the power in modern day consoles like PS4 and Xbox One, so far ahead of the technology back in those mid to late 1990s, of course. Okay, final game in the collection, and every collection or every person who's got a Nintendo 64 should own this game, because it's one of my favourite games ever on any console or in the arcades. It's The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It's an epic adventure, a gaming masterpiece even. It's kind of role-playing game, but it's more of an action role-playing game. Great story, great music, and it features superb puzzles as well. I think in modern day gaming, if you get stuck on a puzzle, you go online, or you used to look in a magazine. Probably some people still do, but these days you'd look in you'd look online on solutions on how to get past certain puzzles. With this game, I used to just keep at the puzzles and try this, try that, and you just try anything, and eventually you'd solve the puzzle. Brings back so many great memories. And at the time, the actual game came on the largest capacity cartridge. Originally, this game was supposed to be developed for the Nintendo 64 Double D peripheral, but of course that was only released in Japan and only sold 15,000 units, so it came out on the Nintendo 64. This game sold 7.6 million copies worldwide, and in the US alone there was 500,000 or 500,000 copies on pre-order. Superb game, played it for hours. Only gripe is the water temple. The water temple is a pain in the ass to get out of. Superb game. Okay, so I'll quickly go through my top 3 like I did on the SNES. So I would have to say it's pretty easy. Well, actually it's not that easy, because there's 4 games here that I love to death. So I will say Zelda Ocarina of Time, it's got to be number 1. I'd have to say GoldenEye, just because it was like groundbreaking and the 4-player multiplayer game at that time and everything about it. Superb game. And then it's either going to be Diddy Kong Racing or International Superstar Soccer. Now I remember playing both of these games to death. I don't think I've even finished this game yet, so there's still plenty of game time left in this game. But I think I'm going to have to hand it to International Superstar Soccer 98. Played this game around a mate's house, around my own house. It's got the Master League, of course, on there. Fantastic. So I'll have to give it to International Superstar Soccer. So International Superstar Soccer, GoldenEye, and Zelda Ocarina of Time. So that's the collection, guys. I've only got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 games in the collection. It's a very small collection, I know. All the boxes, though, are in fantastic condition. I know some guys, they put them in these like plastic casings. These are just there in a box. I get them out from time to time and play again. But that's the collection, guys. So if you're not already a subscriber, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And I'll see you real soon. Cheers, guys.